last time.
Let me get a drink of water before you roll.
Last time on D&D,
That's fine.
Curtis killed people by whispering.
He did. Yeah, last time we played, you guys journeyed into the Vault of Dragons, talked a dragon into letting you take all of the money. The dwarf/dragon then evacuated the premises. Then, upon leaving, your pockets and bags laden with as much gold as you can carry, you were ambushed by a group of cultists and Zaraj the Hunter. Finn showed up and had a throwdown with Zaraj, which he shockingly survived, and then vacated the premises, leaving you guys with a bunch of dead bodies and a bunch of gold. And that is where we left off. You're standing at the door to the vault, leading out on your way out, probably with several thousand gold on you as you exit.
Woohoo.
Load me down.
Oh, yeah.
So the question becomes, what do you guys want to do?
Oh. I mean, were we able to carry it all back home?
No.
not,
Heavens
not,
no.
not 500,000 gold pieces. It'll take wagon loads of that to move all that money. But you probably have like 5,000 gold pieces, like on your person.
Skippity skip. Nah, we should just be like, we're gonna go to the bank and be like, hey, we want to deposit something, but we need help.
Yeah, does the bank have like armored trucks we could borrow?
Probably like armored wagons, yeah, if you have that much money you want to move. That could probably be arranged.
Well, we do have that much money.
Yep. We're wealthy, important people now.
Okay, well, for the immediate future, for right this second, what do you guys want to do?
Is everyone
We
dead?
probably shouldn't walk around with all this money too much. So,
Nah.
take it to the bank, I guess.
What time of day is it when we get out of the nasty sewers? Oh wait, we're not in the sewer anymore. When we get out.
Thank God.
You don't have to go through the sewers to get back to the surface, but you head back to the surface, and it's getting toward evening at this point. It's probably like 10, like 6 p.m. ish, just before the sun starts to set. Toward the end of the summer like this, you probably have like 3 hours before the sun sets.
We better hustle.
Layla would like to take a bath.
Get the stink off of us.
You didn't go through sewers.
Well, I mean, we worked up a sweat.
It's dusty.
We went through a dusty old thing.
Yeah, this is true, but you didn't go through sewers. Okay.
Of note, she wants to dump all the gold in the tub. Rinse it off first, and then fill a new bath and lay in it.
Okay. So you guys head back home. Pockets are jingling, and the kids get excited to see that you're home. There's that bit of see you swimming in that muddy bit like call Bart. There's a sea, yeah. So the kids get all excited. They run around crazy. There's a few minutes of getting them calmed down and back to whatever task they're supposed to be performing or distracted in some manner. And then you're just sort of all in your house now with bunches and bunches of money. And the question becomes like, you just have all of this money. What do you guys want to do now that you're back home with it?
Hide it.
Put it in the bed cushions.
Yeah, I guess we'll put some under my bed. Put some in my mattress.
Okay. So you guys spend the next probably hour or so just stashing money around the house, just hiding it in various places.
I'll leave
Don't
some
put any in the wall chickens. Don't put any in the wall chickens. No.
Well, it's not gonna be in a wall chicken, but I'll leave it also as like a scavenger hunt thing for children.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll leave like a gold piece like on top of a shelf somewhere, and then like another one in like a crack in the wall.
Oh, you're working on their perception stats, I see.
Yeah.
Investigation.
Investigation. Yeah, I want a Scrooge McDuck in the tub.
I mean, you
Cow.
can't physically carry enough money to fill the bathtub. It's just too heavy. But you do have enough to like cover the bottom of the tub anyway.
Or you could just lie in the tub and pour it over yourself.
Well, I mean, I washed it already, so I think it's good enough.
Maybe if you melt it down, have a hot gold bath.
Oh,
That
man.
sounds like that would kill you.
Probably. But if I grind it up into like flakes, I could put it in skin cream and call it rejuvenating. And I'm like thinking of all these business ideas.
Nice.
I mean, it's the equivalent of putting gold flakes in your drink, but it's your skincare regimen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it to rich people. It'll be great.
Jenny and I tried some champagne with gold flakes in it.
Yeah? Did it
It was
make it
okay.
taste better?
It was alright. It didn't really taste like anything. I just thought that the cork had exploded.
That's funny.
Like,
That
ew,
sounds
what's...
sounds very fancy.
I think it was called like Blue Nun or something. My mom was like, I don't like this. You have it. Like, okay.
Are you guys leveling up, by the way?
Ooh,
Denny and I already did.
We're good. We're ready.
I'm
I'm
pretty
ready.
sure
Sorry,
I already leveled
I'm
up.
reading spells.
Okay.
We're just vibing.
So the evening passes or begins to pass, and you guys have fuck tons of money.
Uh,
2, 3,
I want to
4,
go
5.
to the bar next.
Which bar?
Sexy bar.
The yawning
Sex.
portal.
Okay.
Sexy bar.
So that evening, after her bath and beauty regimen and laying out a fuck ton of, or stashing all of your money away, Layla poses the idea of, hey, let's head to the yawning portal. So do you guys want to pile up in a pedicab and celebrate, or?
Oh, can I want to hide my gold first, my portion at least.
Yeah, that's what you guys have been doing. Is
Did we
hiding.
pay Bonnie yet? Was she still waiting there when we came out of the
She
thing?
was not still waiting there.
Oh, we definitely want to pay Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
And we have
think
to
she
pay the
just went
dragon
home.
back.
We'll give her a bonus too. Of so many hundred gold pieces. I don't know. Because we offered her 5.
Yeah. So I don't know. We could give her like another 100
Sure.
or 50.
Yeah, I don't care.
Money is no object.
Yeah, give her an extra 100. You know, bonus for being a good friend or whatever.
Okay. Okay, so you guys head to the yawning portal. You see behind the counter as usual, Durnan. Bonnie is not here.
Where be the bunny?
Oh well, if those guys, if the Asmodeus cult came in while she was still there, do you think they would have done something to her for hanging around?
Maybe. I'll ask Durnan if it's her night off.
As you approach the bar, he greets you with a smile, though it is a bit strained. And you ask if it's her night off. He shakes his head and goes, "She doesn't really take nights off. She's almost always here, except maybe she's sick or something." He shrugs.
No, we gotta go find her. A quest.
Oh wait, she doesn't smell like anything. Can I track something that doesn't smell like anything?
She could smell like anything.
Does shapeshifter have the same smell? Or do they just have a shapeshifter smell?
Was that a knowledge roll?
She just had a really weird smell, like almost like she just didn't smell human. She did have a specific scent, just not like
Okay, I can
her
try
own.
and track her from the thing, but I'm gonna have to work fast if we're gonna be looking for her. Because this smell kind of, gets a little weaker as time passes on.
Okay, yeah. We act immediately, methinks.
So the plan is to go hunting for Bonnie by going back to
The door area
the tower and try to make an investigation check with advantage because you are a sniffy dog.
Dog boy! I love being dog boy. It's my favorite thing to be, and I
would
can't
like to
wait
bless you.
till my
Not bless.
thing gets higher, so that way I can dog boy for longer.
That one? What does bless do? Maybe I need to give you that too?
That's the in combat one.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I give you the not combat one. Guidance.
Do I need the D4?
I don't know.
I mean, you might as well
You can
use
roll it;
it.
it won't hurt anything.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Higher's always better.
Higher's always better.
24.
24. So her scent goes down into the teleportation circle, and then maybe an hour or so later, like the scent is more strong, it's more pungent. As she came back out apparently, but she seemed to have left before the group of you, and then headed out into the city.
I'm gonna
so she's
follow
not still
that
down there.
trail!
So there's probably a 30-minute scene of you guys just following Kelric the dog around through back alleys and city streets and confusing winding paths and over a fence and through a hedge. And it finally ends at somebody's back door. The back door of a smallish house not too far from the yawning portal itself.
I'm a knock, guys. Knocking on the door. Hello?
So there's a pause and then a slit and the door opens up. You can see a pair of like green colored eyes peer through.
Are they Bonnie's colored eyes?
Yeah.
Can I, like...
But there's no voice, there's no answer, they're just looking.
We're here to see Bonnie?
The slit shuts. There's some clicking noises, and the little door swings open. There's a young man standing there. He's shortish, brown, like cheekbone length hair. It sort of dangles down around his face. And he's wearing like simple clothing. You can't see much. The room behind him is like darkly lit, it's dimly lit, so you can't actually see into it. And he looks around at the group of you and says, "So, like, a bunch of people showed up while I was standing there waiting, so I peaced out."
That's fine, but we're here to pay you.
Bonnie!
He shrugs.
You're
He looks at you, blinks,
hot!
and then looks down at himself, and he goes,
Again!
oh, I'm sorry,
Twice!
hold on a second then," and he shuts the door. And then the door opens again, and it's the same clothing, but it's like Bonnie's, like, shaggy red hair,
Aw.
and she's shorter.
I'm attractive to both of you!
And she cocks her head to the side, and she goes, "Right, well, none of this is really what I look like, so don't get too attracted, but payment is good."
Well, you did excellent, so we're also giving you a bonus. Here you go. Here's your money.
Yay.
Right then. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna continue hiding until whatever it was that was happening goes away.
What happened?
She shrugs. Bloody hell if I know.
Nah,
Well, whatever happened is over now.
I think.
She
Probably.
nods. She's like, right, because cultists, they just tend to show up for no reason and then leave and then, I tell you what, I'm going to not be at the portal for a bit, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't come back by my house.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. We just wanted to give you your payment
Well, it was a pleasure working
for
with you.
your help.
She nods. Oh, likewise, it's been good, and I will come back, but after. And she just waves her hand. She's like, well, If excuse me then, and she shuts the door again.
Would you prefer if we got rid of a cult?
She doesn't come back to the door.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. Damn it. She's the best damn bar wench I've ever seen.
Is that Uzi? It is. Join. So Bonnie seems safe and is now paid. And asks you guys to sort of just leave her alone.
I mean, she wanted to be left alone.
Alright, I should be good.
Yeah.
Right?
We can hear you. You're a little quiet,
Yay.
but I can turn you up. So the question becomes, what do now?
What do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can hear.
I got you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, Bonnie wasn't difficult to find, and seems fine, though she seems to be wanting to hide. From her apparent belief that there's a dangerous cult out there that may or may not be hunting you guys.
Yeah, well, that may or
What?
may not be accurate.
Why would they want to be doing something like that? I mean,
Oh,
we have no beefs with cults. Not like we killed a bunch of them or something.
So
Uh-huh.
to catch Joyden up, the group went back to the house, sort of hung out with the kids for a little bit, and spent an hour or so just hiding the gold that you guys had managed to carry out of the vault
sorry.
into
Put
hiding
it
it
next to
about
the wall chicken.
yeah, various places around the house. Except for Layla, who just filled her bathtub with it.
Yeah.
Cool. Makes a. That's not what a golden shower is called, Layla. Okay. But,
Got it. Yep, I'm okay. That was too funny.
right.
And now we're just kind of waiting to see what you guys want to do next. We were on our way to the yawning portal to get drunk, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
And then we couldn't find
like this
Bonnie.
idea.
And then you found Bonnie.
And we found Bonnie and we gave her money and now we're going back to drink.
Okay. So yeah, you guys head back to the yawning portal. There are other barmaids and people that work at the yawning portal. Just you guys tend
But
to
it's
sit in
not
Bonnie's
the
section.
same.
So you still can get service there. You still can get your drinks and Quipper and chips if you want it. And yeah, you just want to while away the night drinking? Do you want to go on a pub crawl? Do you want to try to make arrangements to have the gold? It's a little late at night to try to make arrangements to have all this gold moved, but
We need to pay back the dragon.
Yeah, we should probably do that tomorrow, though. I think.
Okay. If you want, we can do it. I kind of we've been going into the water so much, so I kind of figured out how to make that easier.
Oh yeah, can you turn to a whale?
No.
Oh. Well, what's your suggestion, Kelric?
turns into a boat.
Yes.
You
I have a spell here that's called transform into boat.
Uh-huh.
October.
Damn.
No.
How many wizards casting animate object would it take to animate a large boat? Anyway, yeah. So
Are you going to tell us what it is, though, Kelric? Or are you just gonna keep
I
guessing?
mean, if we're not, I have to make sure it works first.
Oh, okay.
So. In other words, I have to type it out first. So after that.
oh, you don't have to type it out. Where's your character sheet? Did you take that spell? That one
Yeah.
spell? Let me find
Yeah.
it.
Turn
Let me find
into
your
boat.
character sheet. Yeah.
Yes.
Turn into boat.
Wait, no, come on.
God damn it.
For reals? Is it really boat? Oh god, am I so excited.
Um,
So since we need to pay him back, he preferred large trinkets. Maybe we should spend his gold price on something big.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping there would be like a statue or something that we could pull out of the vault. But we can just go.
there you
buy
go. It's on your
something
character sheet now.
big. But I
Thank
feel like
you.
that would be more
Did you fill out
difficult
the other
to
one too? 'Cause
transport.
it's a lot easier.
Which one?
The top one.
Yeah. Let me.
Because like I legitimately have been looking it up in the book and just typing them out.
Yeah, you can, as long as it's in like the player's handbook, you can just search for it on Roll20 and drag and drop it.
Oh.
How do you search things in Roll20?
Click on the eye on the top right.
Oh, okay.
I have the player's handbook, the dungeon master's guide, and the monster manual on there.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, there's that. There's that. Oh, and
What? That's an interesting way to kill somebody. Cast a spell magic on them while they're in the water.
alright, that is a way you could do it.
Cruel and unusual.
Jordan.
So,
Please don't do that on me.
Quit being
No,
a rogue.
while Jordan is leveling up, you guys while away a few hours drinking in the yawning pool. Jalaster sits in his corner. The usual familiar faces, are minus the ones that have been arrested, are spread across the room. But you managed to have like a peaceful night, mostly uninterrupted, it seems. So as the night gets longer, as your buzz begins to wear off, or you're getting to that point where drinking more might make you sick, do you guys want to start heading back to the house? Do you want to? What's the plan?
I think
I as much as I'd like to celebrate with a few drinks and pub calls and everything, I'd like to be like inconspicuous, like just like try to act normal, not ask questions like, yeah, where's Zaraj? Have you seen him lately? Yeah, I don't want to ask anything like that.
Where's Raj? Have you seen Gerard? Well, I don't think he frequents this bar, thankfully, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
the lady that lives behind us that he was renting a room from might start asking questions at some point.
Not to mention the
You
shopkeeper.
can say it was self-defense.
True.
The shopkeeper.
Yeah.
But if we tell them those things, we're probably not gonna end up in the great graces of the eye people.
The eye people?
Zentorium, Zothar.
Those are the wing dragon peoples.
Like made in
The Xanathar Guild is like is a gang. The Zentarum are the flying snake people, and Zaraj was a member of the Zentarum.
Zents, yeah.
Those people.
Well, weren't we already on their bad side?
I don't think we were on their good side, but I don't think we were on their bad side.
Right.
Well, Zaraj specifically told me he wanted to kill me. I mean, and I think that extended to all of us. I don't know why he would say something like that, but he did. The joke's on him because I'm not dead yet.
No, I'm not dead yet. That's what the ranger said.
Well, yeah, maybe we go a little low key. Probably a good idea. Don't let anybody know we have a lot of money.
You guys want to head back to the house then?
Yeah.
So as you sort of stumble out into the street, laughing, maybe having had a good time in the bar, you notice that there are a lot of people all sort of heading in the same direction.
Just milling with the crowd.
Is that circus still in town?
It is.
Can I step into an alley and go back into being a dog again?
Yeah. Now,
do
you can
that
see-
thing where like someone walks behind a bus and a dog walks out the other side.
Yeah. Let me see. You guys are at the yawning portal, which is way down south. Where is the yawning portal? Yeah. So they're all kind of heading this direction, off that way. And if you look off in the direction they're heading, you can see
Which way?
over the lights of the city, the street lights, little flashes, little pops of light and color along the near, like toward the high road.
Which direction?
Thousand way.
Hold on, I still don't see.
You're too far north.
Is it a Waterdeep holiday?
Right, heading.
Strange.
Founders Day is in like 3 or 4 days, which is like the next holiday that's coming up. 3 days, 3 days, which is it celebrates what they think is probably the founding of Waterdeep, and that's usually a big holiday. But this is not like a holiday. And a few moments later, one of the ribbons of light shoots high into the air, and then poof, a firework goes off.
Is it following us?
No, it's and people are kind of walking in that direction, like going to see what's causing the commotion or what's going on.
I think a show is happening.
I'm gonna ask like the next person that's walking near us, what's going on? What are with all the fireworks?
He shrugs. He says, I think it's the closing of the Sea Maidens Fair. It's the night parade's the best one.
Hmm.
We're gonna go get masks."
Ooh,
I
man.
like this. I would
my
also
God.
like the mask.
And he like nudges the girl he's with, and the two of them smile, and they sort of go to hurry off toward the ostensibly the parade. And you can see it's like the high road it's a good distance away from you guys, but you can see like RGB glow rising up from it, like all these dancing multicolored lights.
Where are we gonna find masks at this hour?
Well, probably over by the parade or whatever. I would think they'd be selling it.
Do I have a mask and a disguise kit?
Probably not like a party mask, like a carnival mask, which is what you would assume they were talking about.
Oh, okay, well. Then yeah, let's get to it.
Awesome. Mask shopping!
Yeah!
Yeah, as you guys get closer to the high road, the cloud gets more and more packed, and eventually you can see there are people lining either side of the high road, and there is you catch, because you walked out about the time that was hitting this area, you catch the front end of the parade. And it is a very carnival atmosphere. There are people wandering around wearing a big, ridiculous, Belize carnival masks and long gowns, and drinking drinks and laughing and sort of watching the show. At the front of the parade, you can see who you now know is a drow, leading the parade in a long, elaborate like ringmaster's costume with a big top hat on, and he's got a staff with either end of it is on fire, and he's slowly sort of twirling it and doing like a little walking dance. There are fire breathers. There's a giant mechanical creature with two great big tusks that are capped in gold, and at the end of each cap, there's a little orbs of light that are slowly pulsating between colors. But it's a giant metal creature. It's for our from our perspective, it's a giant mechanical elephant. Sort of pulling along behind it a float. There are people on the float throwing beads and candy into the crowd. There's dancers and fire breathers and acrobats. Little keg robots running around serving frothy beverages. Then all along the sides of it, vendors have gathered up. There's people with just staffs with masks hanging off of them, and various little colored lights, and the whole thing is sort of lit by rows upon rows of dancing lights. The mechanical creatures are all lit up. They all have lights all over their bodies. The dancers are painted in some sort of like luminescent paint that reflects or picks up the colors. They almost seem to be glowing as they intertwine. It's elaborate and huge, and off of some of the floats that are being pulled by these giant mechanical beings, you can see people shooting fireworks off, and there's people selling food and drink and ostensibly masks, all throughout the crowd.
I want the sparkliest red and gold mask I can find.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the masks are like a silver piece. They're all little cheap party masks. There's nothing fancy or high end or.
It's
I
one
just
of
want
those.
shiny.
Is it one of those masks that like cover only the eyes, or is it like full face mask?
Some of them are full face. Some of them are just the top part. Some of them are little like superhero style masks. Some of them are more elaborate with hoods and feathers. So there's all kinds of variety. There's different people selling different ones. There's a
Do you
young
have like the fancy leather ones that they sell at Ren fairs?
yeah.
Do they
Yeah.
have like dragon shaped masks?
Yeah, definitely.
I want one.
Yeah, one of the fire breathers is like wearing a mask that makes the front of his face look like a dragon, and he spits fire. His body paint is like glistening red, so that it looks like he has red scales all over his body. There's a boy selling like a little kid selling little paper like swans. There's an older woman sort of set up in a chair on the side of the road that has a table set up, and she's selling little glowing like rings, like a ring that we'd wear on your finger with probably some kind of cheap gem and set in it, but it gives off a little bit of light. And then the whole parade itself is like, think the Disney parade. You guys ever see that on YouTube?
Yeah.
The Disney parade at night. It's like that, except there's drunk people.
So the Disney parade at night.
I don't know if you can drink at Disney
In
World.
the 90s.
But it's like, yeah, it's just a very party atmosphere. So when you guys filter up, you begin watching the parade go by, catching beads and candy, and seeing kids run around and buying masks to get fancied up. While this is going on, can you guys make perception checks for me?
No.
Do I get to use the sniffer for this one or no?
No, this is just going to be eyesight.
Sniffer, like as in your nose.
Calric's a dog.
Woof.
I got a 9. I don't see anything.
I got a 10.
Hey,
Woo!
I think maybe
Dog boy,
because
go!
I think maybe because Calric, you're not as interested in the like as a dog, a bit of that dog mentality takes over, and you're a little more on guard because it's a big group of people and there's lots of lights and sounds. So I think maybe you maybe pull away from the crowd a little bit and watch. You see a couple things. One is like there are some pickpockets working the crowd. There's some people wandering through the crowd that are obviously like swiping things from one person and passing it to another. But you also see the little motes of light that one of them sort of breaks off. One of the little dancing lights above the parade sort of breaks off and begins slowly drifting north.
Hmm.
Like, is that unusual?
The other ones, as you look around, you can see a couple more that sort of break off from the parade, and they're slowly bobbing off in sort of this direction.
Can I, like... Oh, well, I mean, I can. I'm going to get Chris's... Like, I'm going to grab Chris's pants with my teeth and, like, tug.
Okay.
What's up, boy? What's going on?
And then walk in the direction and then wait.
Is Timmy stuck in the well?
Oh my god!
I guess
It's like
I'll
I have some rope. I can go get him out.
Oh, I guess I'll be like, hey guys, Keller's trying to tell us.
Quick, guys, Timmy's in the well!
Yeah. So with some whining and some dog body language and hugging on pants legs, you guys eventually do look off in that direction. See, one of these little light sort of flickers to red, and then as it flickers to red, it begins drifting off toward the north by itself.
Curious.
I feel like whenever I play D&D, I become somebody who has ADHD and is extremely paranoid.
Can I
Like,
see if this is like
I thought that was
related to
Keller's.
magic? Like
yeah, that
this
is
is
Kelric,
like-
but still.
I mean, the lights are obviously magic. They're
right.
probably dancing light spell. So there's probably a large group of, because it would have to be more than one casting it. So there's some spellcasters a part of the parade here.
Can I follow it?
You guys want to start following them off north?
Eat.
Okay, so you have to run a bit to keep up with them. They're flying and you're on the streets, and there's moments where you lose one and pick up another. But as you break off and sort of leave the hustle and bustle of the parade behind, they begin floating up. I think I mean, how long do you want to follow them for?
How long are they going on?
I'd say we'll make another perception check. I'll have you guys make another round of perception checks.
I'm gonna guidance myself.
I think for me it depends on how many people are still around.
The parade, it's attracting the majority of the city. You can see the guards have come out to keep order. So the city watch is all about. The city guard is all about. So it's a big affair.
Right, but so the lights, they're not following the parade. They're it's breaking off from it.
Yeah, but nobody seems to be following the lights, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of is it leading us into a dark deserted alley kind of thing?
They're in like a fan shape, so there's 6 of them, and they're sort of floating along individually. They don't seem to be purposely drawing people out away from the parade. It's almost like they should be going unnoticed. But Joyden, with your dark vision, as you're moving forward, you catch the sound of something that sounds like a flap of a tiny wing. And you sort of rush up onto a rooftop to get a better look at one of these things. And as you scale to the top of the roof, you can see what looks like a pair of wings in the distance that's carrying this light.
Oh, all of it, accumulating, and it just
this one little light. You can tell is being with sort of bat-like wings.
It's getting carried off, whatever it is.
I report back what I see. Guys, there's some wicked demon that's taking this light for itself. We should do something. Although I don't know if the light is consensual in this.
So, with your suspicions higher, you guys continue following these things, and you eventually turn down Solmore Street, which is only about 3 blocks south of your house, 2 blocks south of your house. And they actually begin to slowly sort of drift closer together. Their destination starts to become obvious.
Oh wait, is it our house or Growlhund?
Troll Skull. They seem to be heading towards your house.
Oh.
Am I close enough to shoot one?
Let's find out. This is like a chase at this point. Make a dexterity check.
I gotta warn our children.
Like a dex save or just quick dexterity?
Just dex, just a flat dex check to see how close you've kept. 14. Yeah, you're close enough to shoot one of them.
All right, I would like to shoot one of them with guiding bolt, I guess.
Okay.
Here we go. 11.
I gotta look. Hang on.
Can I hit the thing that it's carrying? No, I've already aimed at the guy.
So there's a flash of light next to this thing, but it weaves out of the way. But as your flash of light passes by it, you get a good enough imp.
Imp!
Can I also shoot at the imp?
Yep.
Awesome.
Buster, is that one of yours?
18?
An 18 will hit, yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if I get sneak attack.
It wouldn't matter. You hit it, and Joyden leans back, draws her magical bow. The arrow coalesces, and the needle sharp point whips off into the darkness. And the light from your blasts, Layla, gives her enough light that she pegs it in the back of the head. The thing tumbles and lets go of what it's carrying, and as it begins to plummet, it no longer looks like a little mote of individual light. You can see flames begin to waver in the air, and it crashes down onto a nearby roof. The creature
Oh, no.
tumbles off, but the pot that it's carrying shatters and throws fire all over the roof.
Oh.
Look what you did, Layla!
At this point, the others become aware of your presence, and we're gonna roll initiative.
Oh,
Let me get tokens out here for you guys.
they want our
Chris.
money.
Any chance
We're
that
trying
this
to
is?
burn down our house?
It seemed like.
Layla,
I mean,
Buster,
they want to
Curtis,
make the street a pile of gold.
Kellerick,
Oh.
and
Oh.
Imp.
Oh wait. I have to click on the token.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Yeah, put that
Oh,
one. Thank you, game. Initiative. Okay.
Oh.
Layla, Chris, Kellerick, I have. So, Joyden, did you roll already?
Yeah, that was 19.9.
19? Okay.
Yeah, I was 17 and I didn't. myself.
17 for Buster.
Yeah.
And Curtis.
5.
And what am I missing?
Oh.
That's alright.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know Roll20 updates my proficiency.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Joyden, these things see you at this. See their Fred get knocked out of the air. There's 6 more of these things, and you can see they begin to pick up their speed towards your house. At this point, they're probably 200 feet away from your house, and you're probably 60 feet away from them.
Okay. I am going to do a dash action so I can close the gap.
Okay, that's just 60 feet. Yeah, they're still up in the air.
Right. Well, I'm just going to shoot the furthest one.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
The strange
21?
light of the night does not affect you. That hits.
12
Okay,
down.
so another one falls out of the air and crashes onto a nearby roof, pot smashing and lighting another roof fire.
Sorry.
We should probably call the guard, right? Are they the
Layla.
firefighting force in the city?
They do.
Can I? Okay, how far away are they from me?
You guys are all clustered together, so 60 feet.
60 feet.
This map is not to scale. I just threw tokens out so we could roll initiative.
Would
Map? I don't see a map. I just see.
You guys are on the city.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
would
Gotcha.
picking up Chris be an action?
You can't carry Chris while you fly, if that's what you're thinking.
That was my thinking. Okay, well, if I can't do that, I will yell for the guards and move 60 feet.
So that thought crosses your mind. You yell for the guard and look around and realize that, at least on the street, as far as you can see, it's fairly empty. There's not really a lot of people moving around, and you see no guard.
Okay, well then I will just take my losses and move 30 feet.
A giant parade and everybody congregating in one place was a convenient distraction.
And I want to cast my spiritual weapon in front of them. So it has a 60-foot range.
So you move 30 and yeah, sure.
Okay. So I want to cast it in front of like the farthest one out. It can.
Sure.
Yeah. And I guess does a 17 hit?
Like directly in front of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, a 17 will hit.
The one closest to our house.
Yes, a 17 will hit.
Okay. Well,
It crashes out of the sky with a horrifying screech. See it begin to disintegrate, turn into black sludge as it falls, and the pot smashes down on a nearby roof, spreading more fire. At this point, you guys have lit 2 buildings on fire.
Cool.
I don't know how to like not light buildings on fire, but after that, can I okay, I guess I can't do anything else that would be useful.
Oh my gosh. These imps are trying to frame us.
Yeah.
Don't shoot any more imps. Just let them go.
All right.
Well, I've got a
Calric,
grappling hook
your
with
turn.
20 feet of rope on it.
Oh wait, I guess you can't really smell a guard.
Unless you were familiar with his scent already. No.
Well, we're near our house, right? Isn't it feasible that I might be aware where there's a guard station close by our house?
They don't have guard stations in this part of town.
Oh, okay. Is that just in the area where the Girlhunt Manor was?
Other way, but yeah, over toward the Castellanter's villa,
Yeah.
there are guard stations on every corner. There's not that here.
Okay, Kelric can't really do anything against imps because Kelric's a ground boy right now, so he's going to go try and find a guard.
Okay, so you're just gonna bolt off and try to find a guard?
Yeah.
Okay, so Calric's gonna spend his turn looking for a guard. Make a perception check for me.
Can I do it with advantage to find other people?
I mean, there's other people around. What you're looking for is like specifically a guard. It's not gonna be a scent thing.
I have a thing for this.
Well, wait till your turn and then do it. Okay.
16?
It'll take you a minute, but Calric barks and then takes off careening down the street. The imps use their full turns. The 5 remaining imps use their full turns to move 60 feet, so they fly further, which makes it Chris's turn. Chris, they are now 90 feet away from you.
Well, I'm gonna run 30 feet, and then I'm gonna try and grapple one.
They're flying. Like, so the 60 feet is included. Oh, with a grappling hook?
Yeah.
Okay, that might work. Yeah, go ahead and make a.
I'm not gonna like jump into the sky.
Make an athletics check. Hey, I don't know what your plan is over here.
I got my 80-foot grappling hook.
Yeah, make an athletics check.
Oh, it was bad.
Okay, so
I didn't know that.
the rope flings off, and the knot you had tied to stop it as it slid through your hands to catch at the end hits the end of your hand and comes untied, and the rope just sort of flops uselessly at your feet rather than pulling taut.
Oh.
Curtis?
So they're 90 feet in the air?
90 feet away from you, yeah.
All right.
Sleep 90 feet.
Them
Okay.
down.
So 2 of them pass out, fall out of the sky. They're like 30 feet up. So the fall is enough to kill them as they smash into the ground and begin turning into ooze. But 2 more roofs get lit on fire.
Ew.
So there are now 4 houses on fire.
How many more are left?
2. Joyden.
Okay. Mild arson, that's fine. I would like to do a dash action to get in front of the last company, and then shoot it in the face again.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Wow, I'm good today.
So another one dies, and as it careens to the ground, the pot shatters. This time on the street, so there's still only 4 houses. So it crashes down onto the street, not too far from Troll Skull Alley. You guys are probably getting close to Delson Street. So, in one of the back alleys, there's fire across the cobblestones. Layla, there's 4 houses with their roofs on fire within 100 feet of you, roughly, sort of spread out, and one more of these imps flying away.
I got this great plan where I get to be a cool cleric and use sending.
Okay.
I'm gonna send a message to
25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar.
The guy that is in the flying police thing. I forget his name.
The Calvin?
The fat guy.
Griffin? Oh, you don't know anybody in the Griffin.
No, the fat guy. The magic guy.
One of the 2 inspectors.
Yeah.
think,
Oh, Barnabas?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
25 words or less.
the message I want to send to him is.
I'm gonna count.
Okay, where are we? Northward. Along what path did they take? I guess like Whalegood Way.
They're flying, so they're
Yeah,
over the houses,
over
so
the
they're not
houses.
on an actual street.
It's Layla. There are imps firebombing houses in Northward. Send water. Help.
14 words.
Us.
That's it? Alright.
I don't know what else to tell him.
Continue page 1.
The response back you get back is
That's one.
I was pooping.
Oh God. I was pooping.
Okay, that message is sent. That's your action.
And then I am going to use the rest of my turn to move toward our house.
Okay, so 30 feet.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let's mark out some houses on fire. So we're gonna say this house is on fire. This house is on fire. This house is on fire.
Oh no.
This house is on
no.
fire.
Oh, can I just be more specific then? Bronder's Way.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Let's see if the fire spreads. Does not. Which makes it Curtis's turn. Sorry, Buster's turn. I just get you guys backwards. I don't ever get
okay.
you as people backwards, just your damn character names. Buster.
It's okay.
Okay. So, the closest one is over here, right?
This map is not accurate. They are 90 feet from.
It's also the only one left.
Yeah, but there is only one left.
Okay. So, 90 feet away. Can't go very much. Can I like move closer to it?
You can't. It's flying, so you won't be able to get like in melee. But
Okay. Maybe I can send my little
your imp could
Bobby.
fly up to it, or could fly 60 feet closer to it and be 30 feet away. So you can, yeah, your Curtis's hat or Buster's hat deflates, and there's the quick sound of toenails on concrete or on the pavement stones, and then the flap of wings. So it can rush off in that direction,
Okay.
but it won't be able to get to it this turn.
Have him steal the pot.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait. What if Buster moves 30 feet, then it gets out?
Sure, if you want to cheese it, yeah. But
Cheese
then
it.
it'll literally just be able to get up to it.
Okay. I can live that.
Okay, so your imp gives chase to the other imp. Kelric is still looking for a guard, which makes it the imp's turn. If like 60 feet closer to the house, so 120, it's about 80 feet away from Troll Skull Manor at this point, which makes it Chris's turn.
I'm gonna pick up my grappling hook and try again.
Okay, make your athletics check.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Why?
This time, as you go to swing back, the grappling hook gets caught in the awnings of a house behind you, and it almost snatches you off your feet. You have to spend a few moments shaking it and rattling it to come down. Curtis.
So how far away are these imps away now?
They've been moving. They started out 62 turns. They're about 100 feet away from you.
Are they like out of range now?
I don't. If you have something that has the range of 100, then no.
Do
Also, did
Yes, I
everybody
can
remember to do their hit points when they leveled up?
I did.
Okay, cool. 90 feet. So you can move 30 feet closer and then cast sleep, and the last
Alright.
imp will come careening toward the ground.
Yay.
Let's see where the pot lands.
Can I try to grab the pot with a mage hand, or?
You can't cast Mage Hand as like a reaction.
Damn.
A 1, so it doesn't land on a house.
Phew.
So it crashes down onto the street, leaving 4 houses on fire. And probably 2 more rounds before Kelric finds a guard. So that makes it Joyden's turn. The imps are now dead, but there are 4 houses around you on fire.
Okay.
The fire is quickly spreading on their roofs. There's a good chance it's going to spread across houses too. The houses are closely packed together.
Okay. First off, we need to find some water. So can I like look for like a spout, or does anybody know any ice spells? Layla, look at you.
I have chill touch.
Okay.
Oh.
It's neither chilling nor do you have to touch people to do it. I don't know.
No, I don't have any water things.
Damn it. Well, I'm gonna cast jump on myself. That way I can jump on the roof and then, like, I don't know, try to fight the fire with
The
my
roof is
bow.
on fire. You're gonna jump on it and like beat it up?
Yeah, it's just sent it out.
Yeah, just stomp it out.
Like, I don't know if I have like a cloak or something to like beat it. to death.
Sure. Make a dexterity acrobatics check.
Wait. Let's see. 25.
Okay, you don't get burned. So you manage to leap up into a section of the not on fire, and yeah, whip off your begin trying to pat it out. Your cloak the fire begins to spread to it as you realize quickly there's some kind of oil or grease that was in these pots. These are Molotov cocktails, basically. And the fire is rapidly beginning to eat across the roofs. Layla.
No, my best cloak.
I'm gonna look for some sort of material that would put out a fire. Do I know what kind of fire it is? I guess could I make a kind of check to know if
hot fire kind?
Grease fire.
Okay, can I make some kind of knowledge roll to know how to put out a fire like that?
Whacking it with your cloak doesn't seem to be. I don't know what knowledge check you would do to know how to fire.
Okay, can I just like scoop up some sand and start like trying to smother it with dirt?
I mean, you would need buckets. They're not little tiny like grease fires. They're like the roofs of these houses are on fire and the houses will burn down.
I guess I will check the first house then for people
So you're gonna
in
look
it.
for people.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you run up to the door and begin banging. You can hear like coughing on the other side of the door, and someone screams out for help.
No.
Can I use my action to help?
You try the door and it's locked.
Can I break the door?
Yeah, make an athletics check.
Oh god. Let's be strong. I'm just like Chris. Go!
Oh.
I'm on it.
You slam into the door and bounce off.
No.
Your door's locked.
No.
Buster.
Leave it to me. Wait, did my little globby make it to the dude?
The one. Well, I tell you what. Never mind that pot. What happened was that one got put to sleep, and Globby caught the fire pot before it hit the ground. So he has his own little fire pot now.
Look out! He's got a weapon.
Oh no!
Don't drop it! Don't drop it!
He like goes like he's gonna drop it, and then catches it and looks like.
You little shit.
Does that little bird bob head? Just, yeah.
Okay, Layla, stand back. I will help break down the door.
Okay. I step over out of the way.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Okay. Normal roll, submit.
So Buster, with his newfound discovered strength and vigor, slams his body into the. Tiny though he has powerful, stout legs, and it groans and creaks, but it does crack enough that you guys can shove it the rest of the way open. And on the other side, you can see smoke has begun to fill even the bottom floor of this building. And you can see it looks like a little lady, basically a woman with like a shawl thrown over her head, and she's down on the ground trying to crawl toward the front door.
Oh.
That will be Buster's turn. So Kelric, you find a guard, and you go rushing up to him as a dog and start barking at him.
Aw.
I guess.
I think I try to do the nice thing first and like try to do the tug on the pant leg to like to point towards fires with my nose.
Okay, well, let's see how this guy make a persuasion check. Let's see how this guard feels about stray dogs pulling on his pants.
Hey, I'm not a stray. I have a collar.
Is it a collar? Isn't it just like a rope?
The closest thing to a collar that I'm ever going to have. Shush.
Oh.
That'd be a charisma.
Yeah.
Oh no. Keller doesn't have good charisma as a dog.
Well, good luck.
Puppy eyes. Do the puppy eyes.
Okay. Like he tries to shove you off, and then he's yelling, trying to figure out whose dog you are. And he's like, "Oh, whose fucking dog is this?"
All right.
Like, stop biting at me, you little shit.
I'm going to use a bonus action to turn into a Kellrick and say, "There's a fire!"
With a 9, you think if you ran off, he might chase you.
Oh yes, let's do that.
Okay. So you run off, and he's like, "Hey, somebody get that fucking dog!" And he takes off after you. And you can see he's like running away from the crowd that was near the near High Road. So he was waiting for the parade to come up, and he begins chasing you back up the street. He won't have to get all the way there. So next round, the guard will have realized that there was fire. The imps are all dead, which makes it Chris's turn.
So they got one of the doors open. Are there people coming out of the other houses, or
Not that you've noticed, not yet.
should I'm gonna like try and go around and knock on doors and be like, "Hey, there's a fire on your roof."
So the first house you bang on, there's no answer. So if there's anybody in there, they're not responding.
Okay.
Do you want to go on to the next house, or do you want to try to go into this one? Okay. I think same thing with the second house. It seems like most people have emptied out to watch the parade. The houses are luckily mostly empty.
Oh, thank God.
Which makes it Curtis's turn.
Does that work? May I inspire?
Yeah, who do you want to give your inspiration to?
I'm gonna give my inspiration. Are Lila and Buster in range so I can inspire?
Yeah, we're playing loosey goosey. So you can only do one person though.
Okay, I'll do it to Layla.
Okay, Layla, you feel the inspiration of Curtis's bardic ways surge into your system.
Yeah, save him from that fire.
I can do this for you,
I
Curtis.
believe in you.
Joyden, it's your turn.
Alright, so seeing as I'm already on the roof, is there any windows that is like... also, I don't want to try to go into the house that Layla and Buster have already tried. Or Curtis have knocked into. So I guess the one roof I'm on, I want to see if there's a window I can check to see if anybody's there.
Not on the not like a skylight, but there are windows on the second floor of the house. You could try peeking in. You'd have to make me another another acrobatics check to keep from stumbling into the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, make me an acrobatics check followed by a perception check.
18 for the acrobatics.
Okay, you're fine there. So.
And
looking in, all you can see is smoke and the fire beginning to lick down through rafters as the interior begins to catch. But that's all you see.
okay, I'm gonna
Layla.
jump off of that.
Okay, you can jump back now.
I want to grab the lady out and pull her out.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Can I guidance myself to do this, or is that an action?
Is guidance an action? I don't know.
Let me see.
You also have bar.
It is.
Okay, it's gonna be your action to go in there and get this lady out. So.
Yeah, let's just get the lady.
Oh, right. Guidance is free.
I'll use my bardic inspiration though,
Hey!
or it won't. I got a natural
Woohoo!
20.
So you managed to run in with a natural 20. You managed to run in and grab this woman as like a beam collapses as something gives way on the top floor and fire rockets down. But as you pull her free, the two of you escape unscathed. At this point, the guard comes running up from a distance. He can see the fire. You hear him yell like, "Oh shit!" up the street. He reaches into his mail shirt, pulls out a whistle, puts it in his mouth, and gives 3 sharp blows. Pauses a second, gives 3 sharp blows, and then continues running towards you guys. And he keeps tweeting 3 times. It's then that the group of you hear a thunderclap overhead, like a rumble of thunder, though it's a cloudless night. And as you look up above you, dark clouds begin to slowly coalesce.
Oh,
And you can see several figures in long, various colored robes floating slowly toward the fire. And coalescing in the center of them is a huge storm cloud. And with one more big thunderclap, it begins to come down in sheets of rain. This heavy, hard rain. So you asked if there was a fire brigade. There is. It's just a bunch of fucking wizards, though.
That's
Yeah,
fucking
that's one
awesome.
way to do it.
It could have been you, Curtis. Could have been you. Or no, it was Buster.
Oh.
It was Buster they invited to join the, what is it, the Honorable Order of Watchful Maguses? So the fire is, you pull this woman out into the street, the two of you coughing up smoke and generally being uncomfortable, but the fire is being quickly put out with the storm, and then guards and a fire brigade, people like a bucket brigade, quickly forms now that there's a guard on the scene. And the fire is being put out. The group of you are quickly snatched up, like surrounded by guards, and sort of taken off for questioning about what the fuck is going on.
Yay.
I'm just a stray dog. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you see, we were chasing these lights.
It's like I pat Trellick on the head. Who's a good boy? I mean, thank you for bringing the guard here. you did the Lord's work.
The guards they begin taking statements. They try to pull you guys off unless you guys somehow want to fight against. They try to pull you off in interview. So we would get like a vignette, like when they try to talk to Buster. Like that's Buster's response. The problem is over. It's fine now. Everything's good. So they interview you, and I assume you guys just tell the truth, right? We saw these motes of light drifting off from the parade. We got curious and followed them. They were okay. So if you guys just tell the truth, they take your statements, and though it's odd and there's a decent amount of property damage, they don't seem to be laying the blame on you. So a lot of you were covered in soot and ash. Those of you that were close to the fire, you've got those like minor. I don't know if you've ever been really close to a hot fire and you almost get sunburned.
Oh yeah.
It's up to you guys how much information you want to give them.
Layla seems to be forthright with some information.
Yeah, all I tell them is, what you saw.
I mean, do you want to tell them we have 500,000 gold pieces in a
Not that much, no. No, I just want to say that aren't fiends? Wouldn't that be like some kind of cult?
The guard shrugs. I take statements. It's not my job to investigate, but he's writing down what you're saying.
That'd be it. I mean, if it's just a rando guard, I don't give a shit.
You make a deception check for me, Layla.
How's this deception?
Huh?
How's that?
You're not.
Can I help her? Can I help her?
Specifically, get you one-on-ones. Nobody there to.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever been interviewed by the police, but that's how they do it.
25.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't dig any deeper into it.
Okay.
I say that we should probably try to take care of.
No, I mean he doesn't pry as to why you're suspicious about cultists. Because the reason I had you make a deception check is because you're glossing over the part where you're like, we have a bunch of money that somebody in the city and cultists are trying to get it, and you're like trying to slide in. Oh, cultists. This looks like some culty activity. Cultists. Like you're trying to slip it in there without being suspicious, which you do.
Okay. It's cultists, man. I swear.
Okay.
Everybody's out to get everybody else out in the city except for us.
So they after taking your guys' statement and the fire being put out and the little old lady being taken off to probably the House of Holy Hands, the group of you are let go. You're set free. They don't seem suspicious of you as a group. The area around here has been burned pretty severely, but thanks to that sending spell to Barnabas and the quick arrival of guards, things seem to be not too bad.
I just walk casually to back to Troll Skull Manor. No,
Okay.
no
You guys
particular
head
rush.
home, not really injured, but a little burnt and hot and covered in ash and sweat, and a couple of you are covered in little out of a house. Yeah, the kids at this point have been put to bed, though you suspect the parade will be passing by pretty soon, and they may get woken up by the noise on the street.
Do we still have those guards that we hired from the Red Wizard?
Yeah, they're still around.
Oh. So
If the kids get woken up, I want to take them to watch the parade.
Okay.
Can they watch it from the window?
It's gonna go up the high road. House doesn't, maybe from the top floor, but it would be pretty far away. It wouldn't be the same as being on.
I also want to ask if they want masks, and I want to buy myself a dog mask.
So Kelric, eventually, yeah, the kids get woken up. Okay, the kids get woken up. The masks can be purchased, and whoever wants to go finish watching the parade can go finish watching the parade in peace. It goes by for several hours. It's probably 1 o'clock in the morning by the time it finally wraps up and ends its parade through the streets of the city. Many wonders are seen, and many a delight is had. Roasted nuts and popcorn. But eventually the parade does come to a close. The kids, tired from all the activity and excited about their masks. I think about the mask they would get.
An owl bear?
Yeah, I was about to say. So Jinx would get like an owl bear. Squidly would get like a devil mask with horns that like matched his horns. So it's basically like a copy of his face over his face. And Nat would get one that almost looks like those Japanese Oni masks, but it's like white. It's a very fierce, like warrior-looking samurai helmet mask. Kelric gets himself a dog mask. Anybody else that wants to buy fancy masks and revel and sort of drink and have fun and drink weird sparkling drinks and watch the parade go by is welcome to. But eventually, around 1 o'clock in the morning, the group of you stumble back into the house, exhausted from the day's activities, having found a shit ton of money, gotten drunk, gotten almost lit on fire, and but you find your ways back home peacefully. The question becomes, at the next morning when the rooster crows and the sun begins to come back up, what do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna do some makeup shopping today, but gonna prepare my spells first.
I wanna. Should we like take all of our money to the bank or something?
We taking our armored trucks today?
I think we should have a healthy discussion of what we're going to do about this manor.
The castle lanterns?
Well, not even so much the castle lanterns, but like it's dangerous for it to stay here. So we're going to put it in a bank.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Is we should take it to the bank.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So they'd stop trying to burn down our house.
Yeah, or at least so it doesn't go up flames. Or if we invite people here for, I don't know, a giant party
our shop also, our salad bar.
Yeah, exactly. So I would definitely like to have the money out of the house sooner than later. So I would like to work on that, or at least help you with doing that. Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get some bank representatives.
Do you guys want to go to the bank then?
Well, Chris is going to the bank.
Yeah.
Kelrick,
Old Church of Timora.
you want to do the talking since you kind of know Klaus already, or know of him?
Oh, he's a
Sure.
lender. He's not the bank.
You don't know I know Klaus.
Oh.
Well, I think he was asking like out of character. Go
Oh.
talk to Klauth about storing our money.
I mean, from your experience, Kelrick doesn't like talking to people.
No, again, I think he was asking out of character. He was saying, "Kat, does Kelrick want to go?"
I know the same holds true though. And
Okay.
It's because like as far as joining as a character would know, Kelrick.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah. So you guys want to go to the bank? Who all is planning on going to the bank to talk about having the money moved?
Me.
Layla? Chris?
I guess I'll go.
Curtis? I want to do something about. Okay. So Joyden, do you have anything by yourself and do, or?
Yeah, actually, I would like to try to continue making shoes.
Okay, so you're just gonna stay at home for the day and make shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the tutor shows up at the house and we'll take the kids off to their lessons for the day. Which by taking off, she takes them upstairs for their lessons for the day. The rest of you begin to head off toward the bank. Let's see. What's a good name for a bank? Do you want to go to the Church of Timora?
I mean, is that like a reputable bank or?
It is.
I want to go to the best bank. What's the best bank?
Roll a history check.
Okay.
If you know.
Okay.
Can I use? Can she do it with advantage using the map that we got from what's his nuts who wrote the book on Waterdeep?
Sure.
Volo's Guide.
Yeah, because we have Volo's Guide to Waterdeep.
17.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bank in
Deep pouches.
in the Sea Ward. There is a bank not too far from the House of Wonder, which is the Temple of Gond. It's a private bank, and it's called Private Citizen Bank. And it's not affiliated with the Church of Timora, but it is the one a lot of the more heavy hitters in the city tend to use. They handle lots of money there, and it's well known.
That's the one. At least for Layla. I guess I will communicate this information to everybody else to see if they want to go to that one or if they have other ideas. Anybody?
Well, I mean, I don't know if we should shop around things or put our eggs in one basket or not, but I definitely want to watch over the basket.
Okay.
So, yeah. As long as one of us stays here at Ghost Call. Which, I mean, I guess we do have guards stationed outside our house.
You do.
It might be good to have at least one person.
That's fine.
I can stay here. But then I won't be able to carry stuff.
I mean, I was going to be making shoes anyway, so.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, you guys have the money you've gotten now. Do you want to take the money you have now to this bank and then see what you think about it, or to like how do you guys want to handle it?
Since it's a new day, if you guys want to overburden me with stuff, I can do the dog thing again.
Sounds good. I'll start loading up Kelrick. Oh, you got a pocket in here.
Please don't. Please don't look at that.
Well, it wouldn't be the first I've seen.
Kelric moves from being like a kind of grayish shade to being like a deep brown.
I hope it's not the last.
Just flesh everywhere.
Layla looks up for the. Okay. So you guys load up the money that you have at the house on Kelric, and then you're gonna head over to the bank.
Woof.
Okay, so yeah, it's so the private citizens bank. It's a low one-story building. The structure itself is only about 15 feet tall. Thick stone walls, no windows, and one heavy iron front door. And standing outside of the front door is a pair of human guards that are dressed in like lightish armor, and they both have spears. And they're standing at attention as you guys approach. They don't try to stop you from entering anything, but their function seems obvious.
I give him a, nod as I walk through the door.
Okay, so yeah, you guys breeze into the structure itself, and it's like sort of similar to a modern bank. There's four heavy oak desks set in the center of the floor. At the very back of the room, you can see a caged off area, heavy iron cage, with a couple tellers behind it. There's a couple of nobles that are up at the front, seem to be talking to a teller, and then there's bankers set at the desks, a man and a woman set in on opposite ends. They sort of look at you and smile and nod as you come in. And as you breeze past the door, you can see sort of immediately to the right of the door, very close to the entrance, is a hulking figure. Like at first you turn and look, and you're like looking at about his waistband, and you have to sort of slowly pan up. He's probably close to 8.5 feet tall. Gray skin, his head is shaven, and his head has these tattoos, like tribal tattoos, that wrap down and disappear into the heavy armor he's wearing. He has a shield and a heavy ass looking sword leaned up against the wall next to him, and he's sitting on like a stool, like reading a book that looks comically tiny in his hands. But he does like his eyes cut up over the top of the book as he watches you guys come in. Flat nose, square features.
Does he have any, like, gang signs on him?
No,
Tattoos?
not that you can see.
Not like
no.
a wing snake or anything crazy?
Mm-mm. No, they're big, like swooping black, like tribal tattoos,
Oh,
like Polynesian.
okay.
And he looks over, and then he looks at the dog, and then he sort of looks at the group of you, and then
dog wags his tail.
and like you could yeah, he's sort of looking, just like taking you guys in. The woman at the desk, though, the woman at the heavy desk, sort of clears her throat, and she's like, excuse me, can I help you?
Hi, we'd like to set up an account.
All of you on one or several accounts?
Several accounts.
She nods. Oh, please, and she motions you over to her desk. I'm sorry, we don't have enough chairs. We don't usually get people at once.
I understand.
Um, right then. Okay. And then she pulls out a book and sets it down and flips through. She's like, we'll start with the first account. Whose name would you like to put it under? And are you just looking to store them? Are you wanting an investment account? Do you have any idea what you're looking for? Oh, I'm sorry, how rude of me. My name is
What's her name?
Adina.
Adina. Can we breeze past this part? Does anybody else want to sit here and talk to the lady?
I'm good.
I'm
So
thinking.
roleplay banking? Okay.
No,
So
no. I think maybe like.
the reason I wanted to roleplay this is because I wanted to know. Like, also, we need like 4 armored trucks to move like hundreds, thousands of gold.
Okay, yeah. So I think I would. Okay, we'll just say, maybe a combination of banking and investing.
Yeah, we could skip that part. Or we could like basically she's just gonna get shocked.
And then I'm like, and then I'm gonna do it at the end. I'm like, and we're gonna. Well, we have a small amount on us, but we're gonna need probably 4 armored vehicles with guards to collect the rest.
And like there's that shock and surprise as she comes to the realization that huge sums of money. And she like apologizes, like asking about your profession, or I guess you own a salad bar.
Yeah.
None of you
It's
would be like
very
adventurers,
profitable.
right?
Right.
And she's like, she's like, I guess the salad business is doing real good these days.
Yep.
So yeah,
Tell
but you guys can make arrangements to have your money transported here.
Okay. Awesome. But yeah, I want to leave like the shock and awe for the very end because I think it's hilarious.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, we'll just consider it taking. And you guys can move on to the next task for the day. Uzi, you spend the day making shoes and like play fighting with the kids. And Squidly freaks the fuck out about the new bow. Like that's the coolest thing he's ever seen. Nat wants to go looking for magic swords now, but you want your whiskey? Okay. So Nat, Squidly freaks out about the new bow. You guys get hooked up with the bank account. They have to make arrangements to get the money transported, so they won't be able to do it until the next day. And then the day after that will be Founders Day. So, the question becomes, now that the bookkeeping side of things is taken care of, what do you guys want to do next?
Pay back the dragon.
Mhm.
Go talk to the Castlanders.
Uh-oh. That'll be fun.
No! Layla's gonna pull you aside.
Oh, you have
We've
your
been-
whiskey.
We've been
Yeah.
avoiding this for a while.
I think Layla's gonna call a group meeting for the evening before we decide to go to see Castlanders after we deal with Dragon.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's what she says. She's like, I've got something very important to tell you guys,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I'd rather deal with the most prevalent issue of paying the dragon back first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you guys head
Chris
out
wants
to the dock
go,
ward
like large statue shopping.
for just like a big statue.
Yeah, like a big statue that's worth roughly 1,000 gold pieces. Something that would get look good underwater. Like
It's just some guy like holding up a head of cabbage.
Leave it to me, Layla. I mean, leave it to me, Layla.
I take that
Thanks.
back.
I'm gonna need your help, Buster. It's a story.
Okay. Well, it is 8 p.m. So let's take a 5-minute break.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. And then I will bio break. I'll see you guys in 5.
All right, bio break. See you in 5.